Greetings and welcome back. It is almost the end of yet another year. And it does feel like we've come a long way. I had somebody have a request to do a little bit of a flyover of things, and I'll try to do some piecing together a flyover as we go here, just looking at where things are at. Oh, and we do have to check in with our kiddo. He's not up quite yet though, so we'll get there. But we'll start ourselves off with a day, get ourselves moving. I think we're in a good spot for a lot of what we need to do. So, in order to get ourselves grounded, bring ourselves back to a point of relaxation, and get ourselves in a spot where we can just unwind into this space, let's take a big deep breath in and do our 3 breaths. So, let's do our first breath now. Big deep breath in. And remember to fill all the way to that space, 3 fingers down from your belly button and all the way to your center. And breathe out. Feel tension leaving you, feel yourself relaxing into the space that you're in. Shoulders are dropping, and you're settling into the space that you're in. Another big breath in. Be sure to allow your belly to expand. Your abdomen should expand with these to allow you to really get that relaxation in your breath. And out. And one more big breath in. And out. And leaving the tension behind. Leaving what bothers you behind. Let's just be here for now. Let's check in with Frederick. Hey son, a lot on my mind. Can't, oh, that's too bad. I'd love to help you with your imaginary friend, buddy. Yeah. You think you're playing pretend? Wait. Ma said you were, but my real friend has already left. He fixed his carriage and went back home. Here, take this. Gave me a coin to remember him by. I wouldn't even think that you didn't believe me this whole time. Oh. Sorry, son. Thought you were just playing a game. Many children have imaginary friends. That's just silly. If you ever lose your coin, you can come for another. He gave me a few, but try not to. They're important to me. Now go. You said you were busy. Oh. You do things tomorrow. Would you say we spend a day together? No thank you. I'm busy myself. Oh. Okay, get out. Oh. We should spend more time with our little dude. Interesting. That's fun. That's another... Oh, that's cool. That's fun. I love the coin. Virtually begs to be tossed. Oh. Virtually begs to be tossed, huh? Can I equip it? Okay, can't equip it. Interesting. It would be like them to make it possible for you to do something with that. Can I drop something in here? Darn. Okay. Well, anyway, that'd be fun. If we could drop it into the well, that would be really neat. Alright, well, speaking of which, let's get started on things. We have a lot of beetroots that are doing okay, berries that'll turn into dye, and we should paint some things, and I do love that somebody pointed out you can paint multiple colors. It'll be really nice to get that going. And we have a whole ton of cabbages and carrots. Honestly, I really think that soup is what we need to get going on. So, who's our kitchen? Who's our person here? And I do love that they're baking. I don't want to steal them away from that. Don't want to steal them away from making this, because this really is the point. It's the bakery. It's not. I mean, right? It's not actually. No, it's supposed to be a bakery, right? We're playing the immersion version of this. We're not going for throughput. It's okay. We can just let one person do the baking. It can be all right. So, that being the case, let's make this place the soup kitchen. Now, we don't have a lot of meat. That's kind of a sad state of affairs, you know? We are making a lot of dried meat. That is where we're at now. I think veggie soup would be good. And then we just need a worker to take care of this. Let's see here. Who can we take? Who, indeed, can we take? Roland is... Oh, why do I have you working as an herbalist? That's one of the tricky parts that you gotta be careful with. Going between seasons and forcing your character to do work you shouldn't be in charge of. I'm satisfied that Roland's a good enough cook. I mean, he made the best fish soup in the world. So yeah, let's get him on that. Oops. Let's try to click the right things. There we are. Okay, Roland. Only 5 per day. Oh. Ah, gee. That's one of those things where I know I should let the immersion go. But it's just so small of a production amount. We'll get Roland back in the water. I think he would have trouble. I think he would have trouble being away from that for too long. It's just not his style. Salted meats. It looks like, yeah, we're out of meat. Absolutely. We'll drop leather to nothing. And let's up meat as much as we can get away with. It'd be nice to at least have some. And with that, we'll do some hunting ourselves. Veggie soup is a good place to start. And we're glad to have you. Have a lot of bowls. Let's start ourselves off. Let's just make a lot of food to begin, and we'll plan out some things. So, as the soup is being made, I think what we want to plan ourselves out to do is wrap this year up with the seasons and the time of rest. And we helped our son with his friend who fixed his carriage. Now it's worthwhile for us to think about what is it going to look like in our main lead area and start on the wall. I do appreciate y'all's feedback on, me going back and forth on, I don't know if I like the way the wall is going to look. I don't know if this is the right idea. But really, it does make sense. We would want to have walls around it, especially if this is going to be a major city. I mean, if this is due to expand in time, and if we kind of imagine our village having started out as this very simple place, just a little farming outpost and a quiet place for our character, Racemir, to start off, but then quickly becoming so much bigger, it makes sense that we would have walls around the main inner part of the city. I mean, at some point, there is something to worry about. We've watched bandits come and go. We've watched things expand for our village, while the rest of this area stays rather stagnant. We've got a good connection with the king. He seems to love us, and he's a builder, so of course he would love us. And it seems like really we're in a fantastic place to take and make Raven's End, which will be so fun to think that the largest city in this entire valley region is named Raven's End after us constantly having crow trouble in our cropland. It's a fun thing to have. I think it'd be nice to have our central area protected well. It'd be worthwhile for us to consider which routes bandits could come in. We'll have, of course, our front area, and that's going to be nice to expand on. We'll have our fields, which will always be outside the walls, because it doesn't really make sense to have much for fields inside the walls. It's too much space to spend, and that's a lot of logs. In this game, of course, it's, we just turn something. We turn on a villager that goes around and chops down imaginary trees, and we have thousands of logs instantly. But in reality, we would need the entire forest around us to do this, and that would be quite a draining thing to do for the resources in a place built in a forested area, and even harder in an area that doesn't have forests. Then rock becomes the big deal. So I think when we expand here, we'll definitely use our imagination and just let it be what it is, so we can have large walls and have some fun with that. I think 32 is going to do okay. What's up? Oh, and there's a crow. See, now they're waiting for us. There. And then we can have a little bit of veggie soup here in the morning. We should go hunting today, Mokash. We need more meat. And we also need more rock. We need more everything. Ah, there we go. Raven's End, right? Haven't had a crow in a while. Well, aside the traps. We have plenty of crow when it comes to that. Alright, let's get ourselves rolling here. I did, speaking of rolling, let's go fix up that, let's go fix up Roland's workplace. I don't want him working in a busted down fishing shed. And I'm guessing it'll be easy repairs. These buildings are kinda weak and simple materials. So let's get that. Okay. If that's really it, then that's great news. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay. There you go. Now that we have eggs, that's really fun. We'll be able to expand our production of food with that. So we have our scarecrows. Village is looking nice. And when we consider where we're at, so we have our market area. Ooh, this is kind of handy. We'll do some photo mode stuff. I know somebody wanted to see perspective and look at it from above. And you know what? I do appreciate this. It is nice to see. The fold. Oh, look at that. Oh, you know. The boundary of the woods over there. That's pretty good. I think we do a lot with that. And then we have here. Now this seems spacious. There's a lot of space between our homes here. So we need to get this burgage idea taken care of. I see some divides in my mind here and there. Looking forward to that tree coming up. And then here's our trap area. We'll have to fix that up. I mean, that doesn't need to be a house like that anymore. And then a couple houses here. These are tight together. So we've managed to put these ones a little close together. Part of it is that this burgage is going to be into the forest on the right-hand side, not the left-hand side. And this one will be kind of at an angle. And then that, which is our goose house, at the other edge. And this one's burgage goes from the road to the left. Now, and this is our downtown area. There's Mokosh. I think we're missing an opportunity right in here. This is where I should really dig in on some tight housing. Smaller burgages, more focused on multi-housing, so that we get our kind of like city of feel right into here. And then that needs to expand back into some of those key areas here. We do have our industrial zone over there, and that's fine and good, but it's not going to necessarily make sense as we expand this way. So there might be a need to expand that industrial area to the far reaches out here and have it outside the walls. It's fun to see that from the higher perspective. Now, if I recall right, yeah, we're doing adequate on money. We're not doing great. 2,000 up to, well, that's not bad. Not bad at all. Did I not just gain? Oh, we just actually have 2,000. We just have only that much to our entire name. Rough. It'd be nice to expand that and to get ourselves a little more cash. Because right now, it is definitely not enough. We don't want to break ground with anything like that just yet. Oh dear, look at that. We're sitting pretty on limestone. That may be the place we need to start working. And our oak grain, yeah, it's a resource, so it can't rot. So we'll just have to sell it as oat, I guess. We have a lot of rye sitting around. We'll need some to get between our seasons. It's good to see. And sticks and stones, not enough. Lots of wool. Now that's good, and I would love to expand some of what we've got here for our money making. Arrows would be a great place to start here. So I think maybe, you know, pretty confident that in productivity. Oh, darn. Yeah, we're basically there. That's really exciting. Okay, that being the case, let's get Nicola. Now let's get Nicola finishing up some building of our... Oh, good lord, that's what you don't do with your workstations. Don't have them sitting idle, not doing anything. Who is this guy in charge here? Disregard all the lack of things you see here. Oof. Don't judge me. Actually, judge as harshly as you want. It's my mistake. I think we'll get her on some of that. I am a little worried that stone axes won't work out. Wouldn't mind having some of these. Okay. Wow. That's a crazy thing to forget. That's what happens when you're spacey. Do need some sickles, but I don't want this to eat my entire productivity for the day. Let's do halvesies. As I recall, our shears have not been doing well. Oops. And we're going to want to make sure we get a collection of bolts and arrows. I think maybe arrows are the better way to go. We are back in using the recurve because we really haven't been using we haven't been using the crossbow in quite a while, and that's okay. There we go. We'll halvesy. There we go. Perfect. Bronze sickles. I don't know. Let's stick with this. Oh, what a silly person I am. Fine hoods. Out of wool fabric. You just need to up that production. I want them to keep gaining skill, so I don't want to turn that down too much. But let's go with that. And less than 1 per day is not a big deal. There we are. And I believe that you're my thread maker, right? Yes, you are. And you're also making fine hoods. Let's change that. Let's up the thread count. And we'll up the bag count for you. There we are. Let's focus on that. And then with our other sewing hut, let's drop this to nothing. And let's raise this up. Perfect. Now that'll allow them to get on that. We're in a good spot. Alrighty, this will be our last gathering of traps here. I mean, at this point, we don't need the survival tech, and the fact that this gives survival tech is not helping us at all. So obviously, we're just gonna let these go. So we'll let this drop, we'll let this fall where it is, and be done with it. We could destroy the traps, but why not make use of them before they go? There we are. Alright, something stands out. We don't have a market within our city area at all. So we have an outside market, big deal, but we don't have an inside market, and I do not want to have it in a spot where people don't have somewhere where they would go for supplies. So I think it's time for us to reimagine some of these areas. I do think that it's time for us to drop these hops out of here. This whole setup is an old thing from a while ago. I have a plan with that. We're going to put that somewhere. It's going to be hidden away. It's going to be nestled away in a nice zone. Let's see here. We'll make the market area kind of extend through here, and it'll be nice to have a few back and forth buildings. I do believe we're going to get a little bit stuck. Oh, yeah, look at that. We're a little stuck in the fact that we have a limit on the amount of buildings we can have, and I don't really think we're going to have much more to do. I don't think we can expand much more, unfortunately. So we're either going to have to drop some buildings out of this setup, or we're going to have to just raise the building limit. I do like our mini market. I do think that we may... Well, we want to put the tavern here. I mean, isn't that the key? Yes. Okay. While I sit here and waffle indecisively, let's go get some hunting done. It'd be nice to have meat on hand, and while we're doing this, it'll allow me to kind of get some decisions made about what we want to do, where we should put some things. Looks like somebody else decided this is a good area to hunt as well. No, let's not walk on the slippery rocks. Now, are there any people still at this hunting location? I guess we could find out. No, looks abandoned. Well, what are you doing here? Leaving a bunch of random stuff behind. Cabbages? Well, I can see why they stayed only temporarily. There's wolves right out this area. Yeah, look at them go. Now that's a strange thing. You have some of these things. Perhaps they were putting together some ways to stay warm in the cold, cold winter days and nights. And they must not have really set themselves up too well to survive out here. And I mean, my goodness, you're sleeping out in a sack like this in this time of year? I don't think so. See why they left. That's the one. There we are. You have to just had to decide which one were we going for. We'll go for the stag. More meat and... oh, gee, that's a long ways off. Interesting. Apples! Wow, fresh apples too, my goodness. Alright, now, got distracted. That's the problem with having, ooh. Oh, that was awful. Yeah, what am I doing now? I'm just willy-nilly shooting. Mother would be very, very concerned that I'm in a hurry. Oh, I thought that was a good one. Okay. If we really want to get the meats, then we definitely want to make sure... oh, perfect. We got a skull out of it. That's going to be good for decorating. If we really want to get the meats, we should probably get ourselves hunting the moose. Or decent if we want to go back into the wonderful challenge of getting gored. Yes, what a challenge. What a challenge to have to try to get all of that done. Oh my goodness. That quest was rough. But fun. I think about how many episodes that spanned as well. My goodness, how many seasons that spanned. It was down to the end. And that was pretty intense. The amount of times we almost died as well was very interesting as well. I survived 20 days hunting Vicent and died on the 21st maybe. Could be a heck of a series. A Vicent only challenge. Apologize for the skip. Need to clear the throat. And, you know, I'm speaking of them, and there they are. I didn't realize that there were Vicent in this area. You've got to be kidding me. Don't judge me, please. Oh, dear. There's Vicent right here. I could have been hunting them right here, right now. For old timesy feel, do we want to go for this? Honestly, I think it's a bad idea. On a scale of good idea to bad idea, 8 arrows later. No, this is silly. We're not in this to be silly. We're in this to make good choices. It's still tempting, trust me. It would be a lot of fun. 35 coin later. I feel bad for these people who keep going down the roadways and crashing out. You know, would be a good idea. Maybe now is a good time to bring some supplies to our local people. Maybe they need some more food. Maybe they need some more... oh, there's a cat in the way. You can't see it, but on my end of the screen, I had a cat directly in front of the screen, so that shot was not happening. And there she's announcing her presence. She was laying on my lap before, but decided it's time to just do her own thing. Alright, let's get in here and get some stuff. Gun. Yep, that's a donkey. That's not an enemy. Look at that. That's so fun still. I love it. Raven's End. I love it. That's good fun. And thanks for the suggestions for the name. It's really, that's awesome. Well, we have some firewood. We'll get the leather back in here. Let's try to do that bit by bit. We can sell that hat. We don't need it. All right. And now it's time to do something with what we have. We have a lot of bolts. I think we can sell a collection of these, just a small collection. Get some of our people ready to go. We could probably sell a couple spears, honestly. I'm sure that people nearby are in need. Oh, there's no reason why we can't do that. We aren't using bags quite like we usually would. And stone arrows. I think we can sell a collection. Just get them going. Wow, we are doing okay on hose. Right. Oh, let's go. Let's get ourselves to the local village, Danica, and wouldn't mind going to Lesnica. We could even buy some things. Buy iron. No, it's not a good idea. Even expand here. We're almost done with our... I think we finished our fencing our hog area. Like to think that we have plenty of planks, but I'm not confident about that. Thanks. Oop, didn't even get any sass from him this time. Some of the jobs we need to have, at some point it'd be nice to have a smith, well, at least a local smith, and we could definitely put that in their area. We kind of have that set though. Wouldn't be bad to have one person be a dedicated wood splitter, because that is a job that would be necessary and take up a lot of time for a large city. And we obviously need our vegetables here and there. Could have a tanner, but we do want to keep that a little ways away. We could have a mendicant, a person who's in charge of keeping people healthy, not making potions per se, but I mean, in this game, that's the way it works. So it would be somebody in charge of remedies, things like that. Clothier. We need somebody who's working as a clothier. We already have that nearby. Wouldn't be bad to have more than one. And maybe we just have a few burgages that are just there for fun. We're gonna just walk these in and be done with it. Okay. Nice, we're almost done with these. Let's just double check. We use those planks, we'll build ourselves up. I think having more woodworkers would be nice just for the projects that we have in mind right now. There we are. You, sir, get back in there. I know it, but you need to get inside. There are definitely obstacles building or blocking the build site, that is for sure. Let's finish up the fence. Let's get this stuff going. Let's get our projects done. I think that's a good spot to be. And then we can envision the wall. I'm looking forward to having that windmill. Oh, get that. Yes. I know it. Darn pigs. Get in there. Ah. There we are. Nearly done. Nearly ready to move on. And here we go. Just the last two. Perfect. We do need a better fence, but we'll get there. Here we go. Kind of want to make sure that we get this wrapped up. We don't want to be stuck without this getting done. And with 200 rock, we're finally getting somewhere. Well, stone, sorry. Let's get that done. And here we have our rye overwintering. And it's a great crop for dropping nitrogen back into the soil. However, we do actually harvest a good bit of it. But for us, our farmers have been taught to till back in anything that is not used. Anything that's not pulled from it, anything that's not the seeds, we till that right back in, and that allows the soil to be re-nitrogenated, at least to some degree. That's going to be really important for keeping our lands fertile and productive. And when it comes down to it, maybe even the difference between our farmland versus others in the area. And we can do a quick run down to Danica down the road. I would love to see some fun things this spring. Like, let's see what we can get done with into spring. Ah, yes. And just to save ourselves the trouble. I do find that just having wooden hammers, honestly, is just way better. You just might as well. I mean, the amount of sticks and logs we have, there's just no point. It's not worth the ore. Oh, I like to just stick with these. It does the job. Well, and I hope all is going well for you. And I hope that you are in a good space for things going on in your life. We sometimes have a critical lens that we give ourselves, and I hope that you are kind and encouraging to yourself as often as you can be, and that you work hard at always being kind and encouraging to yourself. Sometimes that's a full-time job. Sometimes that takes effort, and that's okay, because it's the most worthwhile effort there is. It's just to remind yourself that you are a great person, you are good, and that making mistakes is just normal. It's a part of things. It's a part of how we grow. It's a part of how we develop as a person and improve. And we gotta let ourselves have those mistakes. We're confronting a lot of that right now with our youngster, because it's hard when you're young not to see the things you can't do well and compare yourself immediately to everybody around you. And even as adults, we compare ourselves to each other. At least I hope people don't, but I know the reality of how often people do that. It is more often than necessary. And there's no comparison necessary. You are enough the way you are. I'm happy you're here. And I'm happy with you the way you are. And I hope that you are too. And it's taken me a long while to decide that that's true for me, and that's okay. It was a journey I needed to have. And at this point in that journey, I'm happy with where I am, and I'm happy with who I am. And there isn't anything that's going to change my opinion on that anymore. At one point in my life, it wasn't quite like that, and it's just what it was at the time. We go through the things that we go through, and it helps make us who we are. So in some ways, I'm grateful for the experiences I've had, good or bad. They made me into who I am. And there's something worthwhile about that. Still have the meat in my pocket. What am I doing? Oops. See how much of this thing we can get finished. Bring Mokosh in. I am sorry, I'm a little overloaded. It's against my rule, but it's that last little bit of overloaded, so it seems like a silly thing to be concerned about. Can I get the edge of the circle? Just barely. Ooh, it's too far. Oh well. Ooh, this one's gonna count. Yes! There goes another hammer. Well, anyway, in your journey, I hope that you're on the side of the journey now, that you are kind to yourself, and that you are knowing that the mistakes you've made are all right. They are part of the process. They're just a part of who we are. Growing up in a world that is not simple, and allowing ourselves that grace to learn, to make mistakes, and to be better for it in the end. There we are. Look at that. Oh my goodness, so many more rocks. And then we've got, oh, how about that? 32 to go. Okay, let's go sell some stuff and get out of here. Let's see if I can gather 32 stones on the way home. Except for that one. Let's go do a quick sale. get some things out of our inventory, grab some stones, wrap up that wall, and move on. And then it'll be the end of another day. Oh my goodness, another day. Another season down. It's been busy. Matilda. Yep, I know. And I appreciate that you allow me to make some of these things to help save you time. I'm not selling that coin. That's a special thing. Well, actually, no.
Can I help
she
you?
does not.
So long.
Does not want the bags. Ah! House full of merchants. You can just have these. Use them for fertilizer, my guy. He still likes fishing. That's a win. And I'm good with him learning how to fish and having fun with that. Now, he is not interested and has never been interested in bolts, unfortunately. There's not really a lot of people in this town who use a crossbow, so I'm not going to be able to sell that here. It's not their favored way to go. And that's fine. We don't need to... We're not going to be pushy. And if we can't sell it here, that's fine. We'll bring it on up to the next village tomorrow. Alright, we're halfway there in our stones. And no matter where you are in your time and your space, be good to yourself. Oh, that's not a free rock. That's a free rock. And now we can wrap up the stone wall. Donkey sneezes? Don't tell me you're getting sick there, Mokash. There's not even any other donkeys in the village. How did you catch that? Speaking of no other donkeys in the village, maybe we should consider that. We should have another donkey. Poor Mokash, all alone. There it is. Ah, much better. Good to have that done. As I recall, there's gonna be a windmill up here. We could put it right here. Oh god, that'd be so funny. We have a windmill by the hogs. I'm sure that we could think of a funny name for that too. Hog fart windmill. I don't know. We don't wanna put it in a spot where the trees are gonna be a problem though. That would be absolutely not helpful in the slightest. I do believe we got a good link on that one. Good, good, good. Now, I think of it, I wonder, we don't want to allow, we want to be cautious. I mean, it's important to have the hill on our side, our advantage. We want the hill to always be working in our favor. It should be a good lookout. It should be here for us to have as our advantage. Now, it does seem silly to have that fencing and that fencing, but you know what? As a part of the building process is figuring out where we need things. I'm thinking we have a path coming up over here. I can imagine a watchtower right about there. So let's go for that. There's gonna be so many. Let's see here. Now we are not gonna have the barn is not going to be a part of the inner walls work, but we do want to make sure that if anybody decides that this is the easy route to take down our people, that we have something to make them question their choices. So I think that here, leading into our walkway, there we are. And I'm going to get rid of that section there, of course. Or am I? Aha, let's do this. There we are. Now we are working against ourselves with a hill right here, so that's worth looking back into. And in due time, I feel like we're going to expand this area out. And I think we'll end up with a burgage in this zone. So for this part, we're going to have to stop. I'm thinking right around here we can get a good lookout. If that be the case, then it might be better. Ooh, bad choice. Not a nice flat space, it turns out. That is the better choice. So then this roadway, we're going to edit that a bit. We'll have it curve up into here, straight to there. Alrighty. Then we'll need a gate, of course. You all set? You know what? Hold on a moment. This is how I like to do this stuff. Right. I got this. Alright, it worked out. It worked out in my favor. That's a win. Serendipity. My most important resource. There we are. Because now, what we can do is... There we are. Oh, gee, I thought that was perfectly aligned, and I gotta hand it to myself. It's not quite aligned. Alright, anyway, let's get this right. We'll get this right, and then let's call it a night. Perhaps there we go. I think I just need to get a little angle in it. It looks better when it's at a slight bend. Ah. There we are. There we are. We will edit that. We'll fix that in a bit. Ooh, that's a lot of clicking. Not a lot of doing. Perfect. I mean, good enough, honestly. Doesn't have to be perfect. There's nobody striving for perfection here. Ooh, I would love it if we would have had that equal sized, but you know what, maybe I can do something about that. Maybe we can edit that later. We'll see what we can do about it. Oh, there we go. Now, of course, we've managed to change our pathway, and that's okay, because we're going to put ourselves a little walkway going up, and we're going to follow the contours a bit. There we are. And then we can have a little fence walkway going up into there so that if anybody was tripping and falling, we would easily have them able to grab onto the fence and support themselves as we walk. There we go. Now we will, of course, need some lighting up here. If people are going to be walking this pathway, it's going to be worthwhile to have lighting. It kind of just makes everything pop. Oh, hammers. For now, let's do this corner. Let's just get this wrapped up, and then let's take ourselves a rest. Get a restful night's sleep, and then envision some burgage edits tomorrow, or, well, and also get a couple things sold. Make a little bit extra cash so we can keep buying schematics of things. I think it's time for us to put some money towards decorating. So, a couple thousand coins into us having the piers and the other decorative structures, because those really, really add a lot to the village. I think that that's a good goal. Let's go until he's exhausted and we'll call it even there. Overworking the NPCs. Watch out for it. Luckily, Racing can't go on strike anytime soon, so we should be okay. Oh. You got this, man. Push it. There we go. I did say corner, and I was about to continue going through that, and it's time to stop. Now, some of these burgages, I think we're going to tighten some of these burgages up. And we can get oh so specific. Oh, you know what? A thought occurs. One of the things I built in one of my other villages, and I absolutely loved, was a cobbler. Because it's just one of those jobs you don't see in this game specifically, because everything's generalized for our clothing stalls and our clothing makers. But I like to have it more general. Or not more general, I like to have it more specific, sorry, let me say that right. So why don't we do that? It's it. We're done. There we go, feathers and furs. And we're almost done with that trap. And here, I kind of want to make a neat trellis pathway here. I think that'd be pretty. And is it functional? No, of course not, but it'll look nice. We'll get some soup, because soup does take care of a lot of food needs. And it just feels satisfying. Oh, let's get ourselves rolling here. And, you know, we're not dying anything, but we are going to clean up. Shouldn't go to bed stinky. How's that? What a nice spot. It's been nice having this consistently through the whole thing. And thanks for being a part of this. It's fun to be able to do this, to take a time to go slower, to relax. I'm glad you all are enjoying this, and if it's not something that you're into, how are you still here? I appreciate that. That shows a lot of patience. But I'm sure those who are still here at this point, you enjoy these. And it's just nice to have a quiet side out in the day. So, thanks for that. I enjoy it as well. Now we'll try to sneak ourselves in and get ourselves the next day. Alright. Okay. Thought he was out of his bed earlier. That would be tricky. Alright, let's get ourselves going. I believe that quite a bit that we can get done. Morning.
We're going to need another bed.
Oh. Bigger homes. Yeah, I believe it. Alright, let's get ourselves started up here and get some things envisioned. I think it's time. We have a lot of limestone ready to go. So let's start making things better. And this can allow us to expand what we started with. Let's wrap this year up by really focusing on us in the village. We'll finish up with Kestrel. We'll finish up with her next year. It is basically nearing the end of the main storyline, so as we go through those quest lines, it's going to be done rather quickly. Yeah, I don't want to rush through that. Now, do we need to start thinking about our homes and whether we need to change them up? Is it worth changing some of these older homes that are logs into stone? It could be. Our problem will be the amount of rock we need. We do need so much more stone. And it's easy to get it as a character. If you just go in the mines and do work for a series of days, it tends to go rather well. There we are. So, then the question becomes... Oh, and we can't just straight edit it and upgrade it. Okay. That's me thinking like Sengoku style. Then... I think we'll just go straight to this. Now, I did a silly thing last night, or as I logged off yesterday, I accidentally pressed save rather than, or I pressed load rather than save, so I ended up having to redo a bunch of work. So you might notice a slight difference in the amount of wall that there is this day in-game versus yesterday in-game, last night in-game, and I'm sorry for that. I somehow managed to click the wrong thing, and I was in a hurry and I made a boo-boo. But I didn't, the autosave wasn't that far back from where I had done the work, and I believe I got everything right. You'll be able to notice. Here we are. Now, with this, it'll be nice to have some people having better spaces to live here and feeling a little more insulated and warmer these cold seasons. Now, I do know for this one, we are going to need to upgrade this. So we can definitely spend our dough up here. Still think that I may actually upgrade the walls. We may just do that for the other homes. In my very own, or at our own coop here, where we are. Oh, what the? Oh god, did I just kill a chicken? Did I just? No. What was that sound? Are you taking them on a... Oh, I see. We're wandering. They found themselves a gateway out. They're like, yeah, we're out. Chickens are escaping. Guys, you're supposed to watch these chickens, okay? Keep your eye on them, okay? Oh dear. Oh, maybe this time we won't whack the chicken. You know, this is not going to evenly space. What am I doing? There we go. If we're going to get this right... Oh god, look at it go. That's adorable. Just poking along. Just like, hey, y'all, don't leave me. Hello, my chickeny friends. There we go. Okay, let's see what we can do to contain the chicken exodus that we have going on here. There we are. Oh no. Well, I mean, we've seen stranger things. All right, here we are. Another wonderful home that's already ready for upgrade. Conveniently, I can just turn my character's head that way and still drink coffee at the same time as getting this done. There we go. I hope you're doing well and that you have coffee in hand and it's a nice morning. And, well, morning or evening or afternoon, whatever happened to be. That you have whatever it is that you like to enjoy with you now. Oh. There we go. It's good to have this much of the insulation set. This will help us out with some of our firewood issues. And it'll also help us out just making the place look decent. And as we start thinking about this village going from what it was, which is functional and working and kind of like a work in progress. Small place. Now that we have the name Raven's End, I mean, there's so much expectation, right? We need to start going up here, get ourselves enhanced, go and really look the part. Why not? That shrub is really in the way. Really good at blocking. There we are. Boy, we really did have a good amount of limestone. I'm happy for that. we go. And I think what we'll do is we'll just do the new homes on top of what we had there. Yeah, and then we can probably rotate some people in and out of their spaces. But we also have that whole idea that we want to really dig in on what's going to be where at this point. We'll have to put that resource storage back in this area. It's going to look right there. Now, I did talk of going to make some money. I did talk of getting some things sold nearby. I think it'd be worth selling some of the apples, but because I just don't think we can get through them quick enough. At this rate, why not? I think bringing produce to the local area is worthwhile. Jeez, look at how many cabbage we have. Honestly, I should just have another person selling cabbage at the highest amount that they can get away with. Yeah, why not? Do have a good amount of dried fish. And dried meat. There we go, now we're getting flatbreads, that's so good. And the meat is low again. Yeah, that's gonna be a thing for us. That's a lot of rotten. I'm okay taking salted meat and selling it. That should work out well. It's not good money, mind you that. We're not exactly making huge cash here, but I do see an imbalance here. Where with our hunting, we are clearly way overproducing the salted meat. And we're way overproducing the dried meat. At this point, I think that realistically we should probably be aiming at fish. I think the fish is better. Leather wouldn't be that bad. 16 leather per day is good, but I mean, at the rate that I'm hunting, it's going better there. I think I'd like to just have this. And then we'll put some knives into there. Now, we can, with Nicola, I think we can probably drop this quite a bit. And then we can add in a simple knife. We just need something to process. And it doesn't look like I unlocked any of the knives. There is always the stone knife, which is ridiculous, and we're not gonna aim at making them and overproducing them because it just feels not right. But we will get ourselves the copper knife, I suppose. That would be a good one. Copper knife only needs, it needs 2 copper bars. And then we're talking about a bronze bar. And for durability, it's going to be worth it for the durability. That's the trick. So we don't want to neglect that. So the amount of time it'll last is significantly higher, and for only a single bar. It's kind of a big deal. Now, a bronze knife. Ooh, but then the problem being that we can only make a couple per day. So we'll have to just makeshift our way in just for a bit, and I'll fashion a couple. We've been in the wild and we've done this work before, so we can handle this. We'll put a couple in the inventory just so that people can use them for now. And then by the time Nicola gets those other ones out there, we'll be making a better setup. A much better amount of knives that are higher quality and will last us. Perfect. Now we're set. And see, it looks like it went just about as well. This area we're not going to focus as much on. Here we are. Oh, here we are just on the outside. The farming area is clearly taken over, which is exactly what we want. Just outside the gates, we want that to be exactly what we see. And it looks like, at this point, I can actually move this. Unless we want to build our fencing around our orchards. And that is going to be time consuming. And I don't feel like we should do that this time around. I think that Should de-emphasize that. I don't want you to spend a whole time watching that. So let's get a bit of the wall done here. Wrap ourselves up with this. Get out and sell. And I want to move around that sheep area. I think we've got a lot we can do with that. It may also be worthwhile for us to get the hop region set up. Oh, well, again, same idea. I don't want to do that in winter time just because it's kind of a silly idea to try to break ground in the winter time. And we're certainly not going to plant hop rhizomes right now. And now, in time, I do think that we'll expand the walls to have a double layer. That way we can really make it feel like it's fortified, because I think that looks really cool. Now, I did buy the gate, so we can actually factually get our gate going here. And that'll have a nice feel to it. Aha. Now, of course, aligning this. There we are. Whee. Let's see here. I kind of like it when the gates look a slight bit bent inwards. So I hope you don't mind that. There we are. Let's go for this. Problem with building on hills that aren't directly, aren't flat or on terrain that goes directly across in just a straight line is that we get those slightly off height walls. There we are. Wonderful. Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing that as we go. Alright, now let's get ourselves very much set with some things. Honey is always worth selling. Oh my, they're selling so fast that we don't have honey. Yeah, producing 21 per day. 32, so we're getting to 50 per day. Maybe a little over. Oh, that's why. We're selling far too many than we can keep up with. So, it's time to really, really sell the cabbage. Holy cow. Yeah, let's sell 600 cabbage. I will have to remember to take care of this next season, though. There we are. Okay. Oh, shoot. I was going to bring a number of... I was planning on bringing a bit of our honeycomb with us to sell. That's certainly not going to happen now. There we go. We'll bring some of these. Good to sell some of this. We have a lot of dried meat, so we can sell that as well. Not a bad thing. And given how many perch we have and how quickly that goes, we'll do a good selling of food. Now I just need a donkey. Then when we come home, this is our first house. And I do appreciate it. And it's fun to keep memorials. It's fun to keep things around as a memory. But we don't have to be held to it. We don't want the memories we hold to be the burdens that we carry. But we do want them to be things that inspire and guide us. So if it ever becomes a point where we need another building and we're looking at that and we're saying, yeah, it was the first house we built, but it's not the house we live in. And it's good to remember that time. But I don't need to have that building to remember that time. Uh-oh, nice call. Cat purr, slow down. There we go. No, no. Whoa, we're still going on the slippery trails. There we go. I don't need Mokash to fall. Let's head over next door to our other neighbor. They don't have quite the access to food production up here. Of course, they have a hunter, and she is incredibly skilled. But I'm sure they would love a more diverse set of foods here and there.
Onward!
Ooh, I was gonna wash myself, but I've totally spaced on that, so we'll just hope that the thick clothing that we're wearing will hold the smells very far inside. Greetings. Now I know you were interested in food, and that you wanted to make sure that things were a little more interesting this season for everyone here. And you should have it all. Have a wonderful feast. There we are.
Farewell.
And our good friend Theobald.
Only the best products here.
As I recall, Theobald would not mind not having to make the spears. I don't know, he was the one who was more interested in the bolts, because he doesn't really want to mess around with, doesn't want to mess around with the bow. It just doesn't feel quite in line with what he wants to do. He loves the technology, loves the idea of seeing more advanced things. Gazella will never be the one to say yes to that. But I do know that she always needs a backup spear. And so we want to make sure we help her out.
Are you?
Doing
Goodbye!
well. Well, you fare well. If you hear anything about our friend, let me know. It's been so long since we've seen Alwyn. Well, I believe we were able to get everything sold, so we're in a good place. I'm kind of curious. And I don't want to waste all of our money just fast traveling back and forth. But I mean, how much does it cost? Get to Ravensend. Under 100. I'm spoiled. Alright, Mokash, you hang here. Yeah, this will need to be fleshed out. And there is already a resource storage here, so I think it's time to move that other one back. Now. Here we are. Up here, do the installation, right? Let's get this set. Indeed. We'll get our installation set here, and then let's rethink some of this territory. Now the tavern is going to be on the opposite hill. We'll have a windmill up there at one point in time. And it will be good to have the hops growing somewhere where there's a nice, good exposure, a good southern exposure. And on this hill, and on this, well, let's see here. We have a southern hill on the other side. I think we'll use that one. Since this will be shaded by the late part of the day. Cat says hi again. Hey, puppy. Uh-oh. Shoot bud. It's a lot of bleating. A lot of bleating going on. Quite a talkative crew. Holy cow. That's a lot of sheep. I'm not going to start counting them, otherwise we'll fall asleep. There it is. Now. I do love the idea of... Don't love the idea of being near the wolves, so if there are wolves out here, we need to be mindful. It's just at the crossroad right there. And we do have a good amount of space here, honestly. We have a really good amount of space. I wonder, as we look into this area, I almost think that we could have a farm up here. It's going to be outside the walls. I think sheep would be more favorable to have up on this hill. And if I was to make a bigger area, make an area for cows, I think we could definitely carve out a space for cows out here too. Don't want it to get too close to the land we already have. And I don't want it to be a smelly mess next to our welcoming area here. So I do think the folds are at a good place here and there. I do like the idea of having this a little further back. Oops, I kind of don't like the way that that door is facing that way. There we are. Oops. Probably because I had a sheep butt in the way, huh? There we are. I'm going to move it a bit away so that if I start doing the fence work, we can make it look much better. Okay. Now, this of course is a fence that I'm not going to finish right now. But I do think will look nice over time. There we are. I don't think we'd want to build too much on the I don't want to build too much on the road there. Yeah, too much on a hill, right? There we go. And then this is the road that I made. As I recall, sturdy gate is the better of them. Oh, it just looks right, but there we go. It's not gonna be, it's never gonna be the perfect time to spend money for me, so I'll just spend it. We're not saving up for our crest anymore, so we're in a good place. There we are. I could do a double gate. Honestly, I haven't done that before. That's something I want to try. I haven't tried making these into double gates. Of course, I'll end up doing it here on this silly hill, so no, that's not going to look right. There we go. Now we do know that we need a significant amount. We need a significant amount of fencing for them to wander. Do we have to fence it in? Probably not. But do know that there are wolves in the area, so I do think that it's important to recognize that and be sure that we are cautious. Now this is going to be the problem. Perhaps I'll put one of the sheds over there. I call this a shed, my apologies, a fold. Perhaps I'll put one of the folds in that space over there. Because it costs a lot of dough. Anyway. Moving along with that. Let's see here. I think with this, there we go. We have some fencing that needs to be finished. As we look here, we do have some homes that could easily be moved or placed in a more convenient fashion. Now, and this road is kind of going to nowhere at this point in time. I had an idea with it before, but at this point it seems to be a little lost in my brain. sure it wanders a little bit. But follows the natural contour. We wouldn't try to build a road directly over a hill, now would we? And which direction does traffic usually flow? I'm going to say it generally comes from the house to here. So we should have an angle in from that way. I'm a big fan of the crossbuck. There we are. Now what we're trying to do is make this place look more lively and less of a functional place and more of a decorated place. Here we are. Let's get our village set. It does look like it's going to be a little off. There we go. Just one will be good. There we are. Then this, I think we can do... I do believe there's going to be a little bit of an angle here for this one later. I think I'm going to put a better setup on that one when we rethink that. We'll think about how we can make that look a little better. These sounds of Raven's End. All the crows, all the ravens, all the calling, all the birds. Yep, hit that one. You know it. I'm gonna mess it up. Now that's a long one for some reason. Okay, well, we'll leave it. There we go. Now we'll have to find some decorative structures to put in there. Nice. With that, now I imagine the burgage here cutting straight up and then dividing into two for these two. Who are these people going to be? What do we want them to do? That'll be the question. Could do the cobbler right here. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Quite a reach when we have this built on the hill, isn't it? Well, wonderful. This is coming along nicely. We're making improvements here and there, always. And it's good to have the time to do this. And to take the time. Should probably make some blue dye, as I said before. Blue dye and yellow dye, of course, because we have a lot of onions and berries that are going to go bad shortly, so we don't want to waste them all. There we are. Now let's get ourselves a drink of water from the well. And then we can get a bunch of water, because we do know that we'll need water. And we'll throw a couple clay bowls. So it'll be a bit of a busy end to the day. But it's a good end to the day. We want to make use of the things we have and the time we have. The sun sets earlier this time of year, and it feels like it's later. But there's still time. Okay. One of the things we may need to do here at this point is move one of our resource storages. Now I know I need to do the fence work up there, so I don't really want to move that one just yet. And I know I have lots of work to do over here. So, let's take this one. And let's bring it back over this way. We just need it for a little while. It's going to be a silly place to put it, but it's a good place. It'll work. There we are. We do need some clay bowls. Oh dear, we are not producing clay at the same rate we used to be. It does not look like we're going to get a lot of dyes then. We'll just make what we can and call it even. And I do know why, as I'm sure you already figured out as well, which is that we had people who were focused on making, getting ourselves limestone. There we go. That's one of those things that's holding back our building production, or our ability to build more buildings. So we need to make sure we let that go. Oh, the food storage is too far away is the trick. I see. Well, we can fix that. Interesting. Is it that the food storage is too far away? I wonder. Luckily berries don't weigh anything, so that's good. There, we finally have some honeycomb. There we are, let's do that. Now this little area, this used to be Nicola's kind of shop of creations in her building center. I think we will probably pull that stuff apart and bring it into different locations. Now, let's get to it. Let's make a bunch of blue dye, a bunch of yellow dye as well, just so we have it on hand. Blue dye and yellow dye, it'll be good to do that as well. And yellow dye we can make a lot of. Let's get ourselves prepared. We've been working hard to make sure that we have all these things ready. And it's good to take our time to get it bit by bit. Now I do want some green dye, so we will do that. Let's wrap up all the berries we have. Why not? I didn't want to go over the top, but I wasn't sure how many bowls I had left, so I didn't want to go too crazy. Now, we'll make orange dye in time, but with only 2 bowls left. Okay. There we are. Now, I do love green, and I think it'll be nice in the spring to add a little bit of green to everything. And I feel like in this game the orange pops out really nicely too, so I do want to make sure we get that too. Oof. But we don't have a lot of red dye, so that's a trick. Red dye, we just need clay. Okay, then that'll be the next focus. I can't not make it. It's the colors of Keen. How can I not make that? I gotta have purple. Alright, well that tells me that now that we've got a good amount of limestone produced, we need to up that up. We need to up that. We need to increase things. Well, and there she is, wandering back nice and casually. That's good. It's good to have a nice wander in the night. I'll go around and pick up some stones. It's a quiet thing, and it's a good meditation. It's just a task that helps. Every stone that we pick up goes on a wall somewhere, goes to build a new structure somewhere, goes to allow the village to become more than it is, more than it was. And of course rats. Gotta double check for rats. Alright. Let's get rid of these. Get them out in here. And the rest of these can go place our stuff in the bins to compost. And now we're starting to see the village getting fleshed out. Closer to done. And another year down. Of course. And there's still a little bit of rot here, so we should probably make that. Can get this done before seasonal change, that would be great. But I think we're pretty close to it, so probably wrap up. It's been a joy being here with you, as always. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for another year here in Medieval Dynasty. And then I'll add a, just for fun, we'll do the Dark Labyrinth save as just a quick little thing. I'll do a small video about that one on Halloween, Samhain, whatever you are celebrating. Yeah, that'll be a good time. So I'll see you for that as well as this. There we are. It's nice not to leave all of it unfinished, but I am leaving some of it unfinished for now. We insulated some homes, we've made some decorations, we've expanded our fence lines, we've added fence lines for our folds, we've moved our folds. We've done a few things here. And we've completed some quests. It's a good season. But now, it's going to be time to get a quick bite to eat. You know, apples will remind us of the fall that passed and the change in season. Oh, it still counts as poisoning. My goodness. And that's wash. And take away the struggles of the day. It's been great being here with you. I hope you have an excellent rest of your week or start of your week. Take care.